Today we're pouring 350 yards of concrete, 44 trucks, 8 yards of truck because they have to drive up a very big hill and they don't want concrete spilling out. 22,000 square feet, $100,000 in concrete, all in one day. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. I called a bunch of concrete places around and I told them, hey, I want this done in one day because I'm gonna have like 26 finishers here. I have to pay them. So I want to pour this in one day. And they're like, no, some guys are like, no, we can't do it in one day. It has to be 2 days. I'm like, that's gonna cost me so much money. So I called another guy, Granite Rock, and they have tons of trucks. They have like, I don't know, 100 something trucks, and worked out a deal with them. We have 6-stack 50-50 mix, which is great. And then we have a bunch of guys finishing. So the logistics here are kind of crazy because going down is a one-way street. So I have one of my guys on a phone with another guy on top. So we have basically traffic control just for this property. One guy is gonna be chilling there. He's gonna say, hold the truck. And the other guy is gonna say, okay, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. Once we get here, one truck is gonna pour there. Another truck is gonna pour here. We're gonna do a gangbang, two-way, and pour the concrete really quickly. Bunch of guys here, bunch of guys there. Once they get to where the front of that truck is, they're gonna stop. And then those guys that are finishing are gonna go transfer over here and finish all of this area. And then they're gonna go all the way down to the end over there. So this is gonna be a very expensive day for me, but if everything goes according to plan, which I'm hoping it does, we'll make some good money today, which that's always a good thing.
So I'm here managing the traffic, getting all that concrete trucks in, keep them organized so we don't freaking start getting cut up and everything. As you can see, we're clear, so we're good. This road right here is only one lane. You come in and out in the same lane. So I got another guy at the gate and I'm over here with the phone, so we're communicating. When I say don't send anybody in, he won't, so I could get everybody out and no freaking traffic jam in the middle. Hopefully we're gonna run things smoothly and be done at the end of the day.
There was a time I hired a subcontractor to do concrete, and these guys, they seemed like they knew what they were doing, but honestly, they didn't. They messed up this entire concrete drive and ended up costing me $50,000 because the color was not done right. And I got burned, obviously. And these guys, they disappeared. They're like, oh, we did our job. Color is not our fault. But they finished it incorrectly, and I was on the hook for it. So you have to make sure you hire the right people for the right job and qualify the hell out of them, because some of these guys, they're good at bullshitting. They're good at showing you stuff, but you have to go see things in person. Like one mistake we made on this job right here, you can see there is no plastic on the doors, and that took an entire day to clean up. Shouldn't have happened, but reason it happened because these guys started at 4 in the morning and my guys didn't show up to put plastic on the door. It should have happened the day before, but it didn't. So tomato, tomato, it happens. When I'm choosing the right people to work with, I always go to their job site. Yes, you can get referrals. Yes, you can get recommendations, but the best thing you can do is actually go walk the site. I've hired guys that were highly referred, highly recommended, but they didn't do a good job.
Just to give you guys a little rundown of how much concrete we're pouring today, this is just half of the receipts. See, it says 184 yards delivered, 352 ordered plus. So we're halfway to the finish line. So right now, we're finishing up that last truck. We got another one coming, one cleaning out, and 7 more on the way. Right now, all I'm helping the guys do is just make sure the rebar's lifted, and I got dobies under because we can't put the dobies before the trucks come because they'll smash it all. So we're putting them as we go. I guess you could say I'm trying to help them, trying to stay out of their way, but anything helps. We need a lot of hands on deck right now. So we got a lot of finishers finishing up, doing joints over there in the corner by the house, and then we're focusing right here in the exit or entrance of the driveway. For those of you who don't know what dobies are, they're basically a concrete box, little square, to help lift the rebar up. And the reason I was breaking them over there is because we were a little high over there, but we need it for our elevations. And over here, we're fine. We can put them whole without breaking them because we're low over here. If you can see around the curb on either side, we got a black chalk line. That's our level. And we have a pitch. It's all about keeping the rebar floating in the concrete. Not too high, not too low.
¿Concreto? Se mete por acá, ¿no? Hasta el fondo. Hello, ¿me escuchas? ¿Se escuchó? No, ¿verdad? My walkie-talkie not working. Got the guy on the phone. Got another concrete truck coming. I gotta get this one out of here.
And some of you might be wishing, man, I wish I had a job like this, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, little Johnny, slow your roll. If something goes wrong on this job, it's gonna cost me so much money. So that's why I'll tell you if this job was worth it after the fact. But we did a lot of preparation. We have a lot of guys that know what they're doing. So I think we'll be okay. See, all those trucks are all finishers, which is pretty sick. And we also did this turf job, which you guys have seen before. This turned out great too. So this was worth doing. Now we're gonna see if the concrete is worth doing. I think it is, I really do. So good vibes today. It's a little cold, by the way. Here's some action drone shots and some B-roll. The best thing you can do is have your own people managing subcontractors. Like everyone thinks, oh, I'll just hire subcontractors and the job will go perfect. That's bullshit. That's not true. You hire subcontractors, you're still dealing with someone else's employees. You still have to manage it. You still have to go there every single day, every other day to make sure they're doing the right work. Now, can you get really good subs and they'll take care of everything? Of course. Duh. However, you cannot just rely on subcontractors doing 100% of the work and customer being happy about it. There's still going to be things that you have to navigate. You have to make sure they do right. And at the end of the day, you still deal with someone's employees. So either you deal with your employees and your culture because you set the rules, you set how everything goes, or you deal with someone else's rules, someone else's culture, and then the customer gets really mad because something happens and you end up getting burned. Because like if a mistake happens at a job site and it's your subcontractor's fault, it all comes back to you. There was a dude that hired a sub, and then the sub took a bunch of money from a customer and the guy didn't know about it, and the contractor is responsible for this. So now he's getting sued for tens of thousands of dollars because this guy that worked for this contractor took like $50,000-$60,000 in deposits for things that didn't even exist, and he disappeared. He did a Houdini, gone with the wind, and now the contractor is on the line.
A few moments later.
And this is what 22,000 square feet of concrete looks like. And this is what 30,000 square feet of artificial turf looks like. 2 items, and that's it. This is why I really wanted this job, because it's very simple. Concrete, turf, concrete, turf, concrete, turf, concrete, turf. And then we took a loader and we graded this entire property. We got all the weeds down, compacted everything, got all the weeds down in this area. So now this place is looking very manicured, so to say, and it's looking pretty good. Now, this concrete was very, very difficult to pour because 2 trucks started this way, another truck started that way. So one was going here, one was going there. And they just went all in a circle. They finished this one up, and then they went all the way back and shot it down over there. The reason we stopped it there is because there's gonna be a gate that's gonna be installed. We cut it there and we have to wait for the other section, which is fine with me. It's okay. This was already kind of stressful a little bit because it's such a big pour and nothing went wrong. The only thing that we messed up on is they didn't cover the damn garage doors. So there was like a day of cleanup, which was so annoying, but it's fine. It's what it is. Not a big deal. Cleaned it up, cleaned up the stucco. Typically, I like to put plastic all over the house, but since this started at 4 in the morning, the guys did not come here fast enough, so we got a little messed up. But like I said, if that's the worst of it, I'll take it. And that was the worst of it. Drainage is good, water's good. The broom finish in some spots is a little bit rough, but that's okay. It's gonna all wear out. The sun will make everything nice and even and level, and everything will cook, but no cracks. I haven't seen any cracks. This is the first time I'm walking this concrete, and I see bird poop. I see some broom marks, but I do not see any cracks. I do see a crack on the curb. Fortunately for us, we didn't do this curb, which is also great. Would I take a job like this again? Absolutely. Boys, this is one of the coolest jobs I've ever done because it's simple. Yeah, all those jobs where we do pergolas and outdoor kitchens, yeah, they're more usable, but this is a very good like square footage. You get volume. I'm like Walmart. This job's like Walmart. It's almost commercial. You know, it's like doing a football field or some kind of big driveway for a commercial site. Yes, the cost is much lower per square foot. However, the square foot is incredibly high, so you can get more for the time you're here. Volume, baby. I'm Walmart. Kmart? No, thank you. Walmart. Let's go. If you're watching this and you're like, man, I want to come to your job sites, T. I want to figure out how to do big concrete jobs. I want to figure out how to do turf, pavers. I just want to see your operation. Guys, you got to remember, I've been doing this for 10 years. I started in 2016 and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot through my mistakes. I've learned a lot from things I'm doing right. And I have classes and workshops so I can share that with you. Get your little butt from Alabama, get your little butt from Wisconsin, get your little butt from Nevada, California, wherever you are, and come visit my business. You can sit your butt in a seat and I'll show you how my entire business is mapped out from A to Z. So then you can go back home and save time. The whole point of this is for me to make money, of course, and for you to save time. If I can save you 2 years off of your learning curve, how much is that worth? I mean, to me, that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we know you're not gonna pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to come learn from Big Boss T. Like that, I just give myself, I'm talking in third person. But anyway, the link is below. Come to the workshop, applewoodsalesworkshop.com. I think that's the website. If not, it'll be listed on the screen. There's gonna be a link below. Pull up, learn, get in a seat. See you there.